Today we're going to talk about homeschool dads. Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about homeschool dads. This is probably my first homeschool video, real homeschool video, a video just dedicated to homeschooling that I'm doing. Most of you guys know I lost my wife to cancer in November of 2019, and she was the full-time administrator of an American Homestead homeschool. And there have been, when all of this took place, I wondered what I was going to do. Obviously, I would continue still homeschooling, but I was trying to figure out and piece together. She kept really good notes for the most part on her objectives for homeschool and the curriculum she was going to be using. And it was really for her a full-time job on how she was going to put all this together. And since then, I have gone back through her materials, and I'm really having a real hard time trying to piece it all together. So I'm making some changes on how I do some things and trying to come up with my own plan now, because I don't really know what her, I can't do all that, then still run the homestead, make a living, do videos, do everything I need to do. Because this was her full-time job, and she really put all of her time, effort, energy into this project of homeschooling our children. She would stay up late at night sometimes, just making notes and searching materials and curriculum and book reviews and just everything that I just don't have the time to do. For her, it really was a full-time job. So I'm making changes, and we'll probably get to those changes, some of the specifics, the things that I'm doing in later videos. But this video, I thought would be a great kickoff for here on the Homestead. And it came in from a letter. It was a letter from Carrie in California, and it was talking about homeschool dads and their participation in the homeschool environment. And I thought it was a great question, great email, so I was going to read it to you, and then we'll go ahead and discuss it. So here it is. Regarding homeschooling, I have heard you speak in favor of it. With the stuff happening right now, could you please consider speaking from a dad's perspective on its importance and involvement as heads of the home? I know dads could fit anywhere from 0 to 10, but there just isn't a visible presence of dads in homeschooling. I feel like although it can be and does get done without some dads' involvement, I also feel like with dads educating and encouraging other dads, we could see an upswing in home education and larger support and networking communities. There are many dads out there that are just as anxious as moms are doing this for the first time, especially with regards to expectations as so forth. Signed, Carrie from California. Yes, there are a number of homeschool dads involved. There's a lot of thoughts that go through my head when I read this. And let me just start with this. Dads, you need to be involved with homeschooling. And what I mean by that is not micromanaging your wife. See, it's, in my opinion, this is again just my opinion. In my opinion, this is ingrained within the DNA of a woman. It's ingrained within her to be a nurturer and caregiver, and to teach her, especially her own children. That's part of the makeup, the DNA that we are created with. And the best role for a husband is to encourage and support your wife in that endeavor as she tries to carry out what is ingrained in her by the Creator. And I see a lot of dads who micromanage their wives to the point where you go for a couple years and the wife feels so micromanaged that after a couple years she just wants to give up. It's too hard for her because she's not doing it the way the husband says to do it. Dads, you need to take a back seat at this, but you also need to take a front seat when it comes to encouragement and support of your wife. I really quote from this a lot because I love the quote, and it's from General George Patton. And if you're a man, you like General George Patton because he's about as manly as you can get. So General George Patton once said, "Never tell a man how to do his job. Tell him what to do, and he'll surprise you with his ingenuity." Men, when it comes to homeschool, you need to take that to heart. You need to allow your wife to do the job that she was designed and created to do way better than you were, and do not micromanage her, but instead be that support. Be that support. In the military, it's take the hill. That's the orders from command. How you take the hill is completely and totally up to you because you're the one who's given the orders to take the hill. So, command will be there to support you, to encourage you along the way, but your job is to take the hill. That's your job. As command and control of the home, you give her a task. You need to allow her to do it without interruption and without micromanaging. And you will have an amazingly more effective and productive homeschool environment if you do that. So that's probably one of the biggest things I see in the homeschool environment right now, where dads are involved. Dads need to get more involved, but they need to get more involved in the right ways. And that's probably the best way you can do that, is to just allow your wife, let her search out the curriculums, let her determine, because she knows. I mean, one of the big reasons you're probably homeschooling in the first place is because your wife's protective maternal instinct has taken a look at the public school system that we have today and go, that's not good for my kids. That's harmful. That's dangerous. And so the mother's natural instinct is to shelter her children and thus homeschool. So let her carry that out to its natural conclusion and choose what she believes and what she feels is right for a curriculum and what's going to be the best nurturing for those children, when it comes to education, and allow her to do that. Allow her to do that. So really there's, let's look at the spectrum that Carrie has in her letter, 0 to 10. The 10 would be just what I described, nurturing, encouraging, but letting her take a front seat in that project. The 0 would be like, I don't care. You want to homeschool, fine. Why don't we just do public school? Everyone else does public school. I was raised in public school. There's nothing wrong with public school. Gosh, why can't we just do that? It's just like, why we got to be so difficult? Why we got to go against the grain? Again, dads, your wife's natural protective maternal instinct has seen what's out there, and it's not good. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your children, and she's doing what she has been born to do, and that's protect her offspring. And so you need, again, to encourage her, get involved, and nurture that instinct that your wife has. Hopefully you chose your wife because you think she's a smart, bright, intelligent woman. Okay, then let her do what comes natural to her, and you will have a much happier and vibrant homeschool home in your home. So these are lessons that we have learned here, and Jamie's no longer with us here, but I do know, and I'm trying to carry out her wishes to the best of my ability when it comes to homeschool. But I'm just getting by with what I can get by. But I know from experience that if you're going to have a healthy homeschool environment in your home, you need to take some of these things to heart and figure out a way to best encourage and support your wife. Dads need to be more involved in homeschool. They do, but it needs to be a supportive role, an encouragement role. And you need to, if you're the kind of dad who's like, come on, get with the program here. Look at homeschool today. The reason why homeschool today is so popular, 20 years ago, there was like nothing. There was very little when it comes to community support and materials online and curriculum that's out there. Today, it has exploded. Ask yourself, if you're one of these dads that's closer to the 0 end of the spectrum, meaning not being involved at all or not wanting to be involved, ask yourself why it's exploded. It's because of the woman's maternal instinct to protect her offspring. There needs to be something different than the very destructive thing that we see in today's public schools and even many private schools. And the reason that it has exploded is because people have pulled their children out of the public school system or out of those dangerous environments, and entrepreneurial minds have seen this and have come up with business solutions to provide those people with materials and the stuff that they need to accomplish their task of homeschooling their children. And so you have tons of businesses now in the homeschool, economy. Tons. And it's growing, and it's growing. So we are enrolling, my oldest are attempting to, trying to figure that out today and the last week, into an academy, an online academy, to have it more structured because, again, I have to, let some things go. And we have some friends who use this academy. They really like it. They've really gotten a lot of benefit from it. And so I think we're going to try that for my oldest. I can't get through to them. I waited on one day. I waited on hold for 2 hours. The next day, I waited on hold for an hour and a half. Finally, I talked to a living human being, and I said, "Man, you guys must be really busy." He said, "You had no idea. It's just exploded." Why? Because look at the nonsense that's here. And I did a video just a few weeks ago talking about the reason why this is exploding, and that there's so many people who are upset at the public school systems because for the first time in their lives, they're actually getting an eye on what their kids are learning in the schools, as because they're being kept home with the school topics and the school curriculum. And they're like, this is what my kids is learning. Number one, they're saying that this is too dumbed down, or number two, they're saying this is destructive to their kids. And so they're opting to pull their kids even more out of public school. The last video I did, we talked about a survey where they said 40% of people are considering homeschooling. 40% of public school people who had their kids at home were considering homeschooling, because they had finally seen what their kids were learning, and they're like, dude, my kid's never going to get a really good job, or never going to be a go-getter, never going to excel with this kind of material. And not only that, but some of the materials are outright dangerous and sinful. I can't let my kid. And so they're considering, if just a small percentage of that 40% begins to homeschool. The homeschool economy is already huge. Now it's just going to grow even bigger. Guys, dads, husbands, take this seriously. Get involved. But get involved from a point of view where you're standing off and you're letting the woman who you love and who you trust and who you married full reign and control over that project, and then support her in every way she needs. It may just be one of these days where she had a hard day homeschooling, and all she needs you to do is just sit and listen to what she wants to tell you, and not suggest solutions to her problems unless she wants them, but just to listen to her and encourage her and tell her that she's doing a fantastic job. That's many times all she needs. That's all she needs. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Dads, if you're out there, leave a comment. Moms, I know some of you guys are probably going to rush off and say, honey, watch this video. That's fine too. I hope it's been an encouragement to you dads out there and to the moms out there. And I know there's so many people out there homeschooling because they see really the dangers that are out there, and man, what a mess our world is in right now. But it is what it is, and we just need to be able to do the best with what we've got, and what God has blessed us with. All right, guys, we'll leave it at that. See you next time on American Homestead. But before you go, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Don't go without hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. That really means a lot to us, and it really helps YouTube determine that we're not just scumbags here talking about family values. To the blue-haired keyboard commandos that are sitting over at Google. Anyway, also check out our merchandise at teespring.com. You can find the link in the description below. Homeschool, while it's still legal. Homeschool, while it's still legal. You can get these shirts. Link in the description below. Every purchase you buy goes to help the homestead, and we really appreciate it. All right, guys. See you next time on American Homestead. Bye. Hey guys, our sponsor for this video is Times Tables, a great way for your student to memorize its times tables. Both upper and lower times tables can be easily memorized, not with a bunch of flashcards, not with a bunch of redundant memorization speaking techniques. No, very simple. You invest in this program, they send you a couple videos, your student is going to watch those videos, he's going to complete a number of worksheets, easy, simple worksheets, and he or she will then be able to easily memorize their times tables. Both upper and lower times tables, your student will have a great grasp. My oldest student, Joshua, really fell behind in math because he had not properly memorized his times tables, and it held him back until we invested in this program. My wife did a video on it. You can see it, a link in the up there below, or in the description below. And she talked about this and how it really got our oldest child on track, and finally got him to progress where he needed to. And then my youngest son, 7 years old, has already mastered his lower and upper times tables because of this program called Times Tables. So check it out. Link in the description below, and you can sign up by hitting also the banner ad on our website at AmericanHomestead.com. You can find it there. Your student will love this program. It's very simple, very easy, great way to memorize your times tables and not have to do it without flashcards or endless memorization and repeating techniques that just your student will not find fun. This will be easy, simple, and you can do it really, really quick. All right, times, tails, check the link in the description below. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.